The poem Standing Female Nude is from the perspective of a model being painted for 6 hours. This poem has themes involving social hierarchy and objectifying women. The title itself shows women as objects instead of real people. Even the model objectifies herself in line 2 by saying belly, nipple, arse. She separates herself into body parts, as if this is all she is. The poem has a very relaxed, non-formal tone, which makes sense because it is a monologue from the viewpoint of a river whore, which is in contrast to those who will be viewing the artwork. People seeing the painting will be the upper class or bourgeoisie. The poem says that they will coo at the image, which is an action similar to that of a child, which has who has no real appreciation of the art. And like a child, the bourgeoisie has no real appreciation for all the work that went into this painting, though they are the ones that decide what real art is. And the upper class calls this art because the model questions it by saying maybe, because she does not see it as art, she sees it as labor. The tea leaves are a reference to the future where the model can imagine the queen looking at the painting of her. She will look at the painting and then move on because this painting has no real meaning or importance in her life, unlike the model or the painter who will have their next meal because of this painting. Even though the model and the artist are both poor, the artist accuses the model of getting thin even though he knows she can't do anything about it. It is ironic because to be a model, she must look the part, but because she is a model, she is poor and therefore can't look the part. There's a lot of sexual imagery in this poem. This is a girl standing naked for hours in front of a man. At times, she can tell that he is attracted to her because he stiffens for her warmth, and in the next line, she says he dips the brush repeatedly into the paint, which has sexual undertones. But due to the fact that they are both poor, he cannot afford her, and she compares her prostitution to art by saying, "You've no money for the art I sell." There's an understanding between the two because they each make their livings however they can. Though both of them are poor and from the same class, he sees himself as higher up. So when she says these artists take themselves too seriously, she smiles because she thinks this is all funny, but he sees it as very important. So it confuses him. She mocks him for taking his art too seriously and sees her life as better because at night she fills herself up with wine and dances around the bar. At the end of the poem, he shows her his work and he is very proud of it. She does not really care that much about it, and she just wants to get her money. In the end, she says, "It does not look like me." This is possibly because in the poem it alludes that the painter in question is Jorge Braque, who's a cubist painter. So it's like all geometric shapes and stuff. And the painting isn't supposed to look like her. This is a painting in question, so that doesn't really look like a real person. The poem shows the differences between classes and even the differences in the same classes. There are examples of how women are objectified in this time period. This poem came from the collection called Standing Female Nude, which are known for giving females a voice in a world dominated by men. This is why the poem comes from the perspective of a river whore.